What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review. Listen, I know I didn't do one last week. There was just a lot of scheduling conflicts, and I couldn't get it done. So I am doing this week's review. I already know what happened last week with the six-man tag and everything, but tonight was the press conference with some very important news also in regard to Rebellion during the show. Because I don't know why they didn't announce this, but they announced it on Twitter. So I'll get to that in a second when we get to that part. But I do want to talk about also everybody's been talking about all the releases and everything. I know about that. I'm gonna save that for a separate video. It's gonna be a kind of like a double thing. Me and somebody else are gonna be talking about it. Even on stage, so we're gonna be doing like a kind of a recap and maybe what our thoughts and predictions are with all those you know releases. So we'll save that for a separate video. But I will say at least a little of it. But tonight we do kick off the show with TJP versus Josh Alexander. We have seen this match before, I think about over a few weeks ago, but this was a very fun match to watch. I do like both of these two, and they really put on a great match. I will say that. They had a good 12 minutes out there. Um, Both guys very submission based, somewhat high flying with TJP. Josh Alexander, though, like I said, submission, mat based wrestling and whatnot. But this was good, and this was a very fun match to watch, also. I recommend watching this match. This was good, real good. Josh Alexander did get the win, though. I think he got the win not that long ago on TJP last time. No, I think the title was on the line, and TJP retained it. But this time, Josh Alexander wins. I'm hoping he still gets a push. Hopefully something's gonna go with Josh. I know they got him somewhere going for the X Division title right now, but you know, they're gonna need something for him. Ever since Ethan Page left and went to AEW, so I hope they can make a single star out of him. It seems to be going on the right track right now. Going for the X Division title, so we'll see what happens with Josh Alexander. I know this has been happening for like the last week or two, which about the Impact Zone and Let's Get Wild. The return of Taylor Wilde. Taylor Wilde is coming back. I haven't the last time I really heard about Taylor Wilde, I think she was at the last Rebellion show, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that was the right pay per view, but it was the one where they had LAX go against the Lucha Brothers in that ladder match. And Taylor Wilde was there. She didn't wrestle anything, but she was there. Because the last time I could really remember Taylor Wilde, I even seen Taylor Wilde wrestle at, Impact TNA. That had to be like 2010, maybe 9. I don't know if she was still with the company at the time, but it had to be like 2010, 2009, if I remember her being there. So it is good to see her back. So we'll see what happens with that. Crazy Steve winning against Machine Gun Carl Anderson. Good match. Obviously, this is just a match for the Good Brothers to win. Uh, Um, since they got still face Finn Juice at Rebellion next week, so they got that going on. I do like Decay though. Still, like I said, I like Decay being back, and everybody says the old Rosemary is back, not this whatever Rosemary they had going on last time. So this was good. Carl Anderson got the win with the Spine Buster, so that was good. Um, Next, Swingers Palace, of course. I'm not gonna lie, I did like last week when James Storm told Chris Harris, America's Most Wanted, like, hey man, why don't you win some beer money? Hey man, that ain't cool. Guilty as charged. That was a fun joke. But Ace Austin and Fulton came in talking about he's gonna win the title at the pay per view. TJP came in and as what Johnny Bravo says, you're the odds-on favorite to win this match. Until Josh Alexander said, well, listen, I beat you earlier tonight, so what are you talking about? And then next thing you know, Petey Williams, I guess he was at the Hardcore Justice show. He was Lil P Pump, Maple Leaf Muscle himself. He basically did the whole Scott Steiner math promo. He only got a 33 third chance of winning. My 75% chance of winning. That's always fun here, and he still looks the same with the Maple Leaf Muscle gimmick and whatnot, okay? So that was cool. He did the little Scott Steiner promo since everybody always talks about that nowadays. It's still funny to this day. Any Scott Steiner promo is funny to this day, okay? So he tells the words of truth. Um, Eddie Edwards and Willie Mack was out there talking about how they lost to Violent by Design by Hardcore Justice and leaving Tommy Dreamer in a heap and whatnot. Um, Next thing you know, Eric, the whole Violent by Design comes out, and since they left Dreamer there, they said they're gonna take you guys out right now, and they make promises. Next thing you know, they attack Willie Mack and Eddie Edwards, but James Storm and Chris Sabin came out. Basically, Storm got the mic and challenged them to a match at Rebellion. Now, the match is most likely is going to have to be changed. Like I said, I know the show is taped and the pay per view will be live, but we all know Eric Young is supposed to be out for the next 6 to 9 months, I believe, due to a torn ACL injury. So I don't know who will replace him. I'm not really sure. So I'm sure they're gonna have to come up with something with that right now since EY is out of commission and whatnot. So we'll see who they get him to replace by the pay-per-view. Tennille Dashwood had her own show. What was it called? All About Me. Basically, it's the same thing Madison Rain did for the locker room talk segments, and her guest was Gia Miller, and talking about her success and Impact started the women's revolution, and that she made it a big deal, and she's gonna beat Deanna real soon for the title, which I believe she has a title shot apparently against Deanna Purrazzo. So I guess I got some going on with that. Jazz and Jordan Grace came out for Jazz's retirement ceremony as she lost to Deanna Purrazzo last Saturday at Hardcore Justice. I know they did something. I wish they would have more footage and more time to build that up with her retirement. I know she's been on a retirement run anyways, but this was like her last match here, and because I didn't really expect Jazz to really stick around that long, but basically she was hoping for one more title run, but Deanna gave her a run for her money, and she said she's talked about how she almost had it. And having that fire over 15 years ago, and Deanna is a true champion, and saying she is the future of this business. And then she talked to Jordan Grace, and wanted to thank her for all the tag team and whatnot. And we thought we were gonna win those titles, and she was honored that you even brought me here and brought me back. And she said that Jordan Grace's future is very bright, and basically, she's never had history with Impact before in her current run, but she said for the last few months she's glad she got to be here and go out with a bang. Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan basically came out making fun of her then. Jordan Grace says the reason why nobody invited you guys right now. And how about I say, you want to say something? Let's go in the ring. And then referee said we're gonna book you into a match. So we had an impromptu match right now, which Jazz and Jordan Grace won. And then basically Jazz got back on the mic and said, "This is finally it. Okay, it's done." She thanked all her fans, everybody for all the love and support throughout the years, from being called the female fighting phenom or the baddest bitch, and basically she just thanked everybody, and the whole roster came out and celebrated. And, she hugged Tommy Dreamer and thanked Gail Kim and others also. So they honored Jazz, and that was cool. I will say that. Like I said, her retirement thing was going on not that long ago. Because she announced it, I just didn't really know it was announced. I think she did an interview, so that's why I was surprised she stuck around Impact later. But Jazz does deserve the respect for everything she has done in wrestling, from ECW to WWE, even though some say it was not the greatest time for her to be there just during that era and whatnot. But Jazz always brought legitimacy and just a badass motherfucker and whatnot. I didn't really know where she was. I knew she was still in the Indies for multiple county years, and until like maybe a few years ago, I knew she was the NWA Women's Champion and whatnot. And I saw Jazz at All Out. I remember she was at that pay per view, so I got to see her there live, wrestling and everything. So I could go through all Jazz's accomplishments right now, but it'd probably be a lot to name. But this was a very good and nice speech. I think this could have been built a little bit better, but it was still a nice way for her to go out, and everybody, they paid respect to her. So that was good. Um, Next, Scott Moore booked Kiera and Tasha in a tag match at I guess Rebellion, but Jordan Grace gets the shot. But next thing you know, how is she gonna get the title shot? Then she has a partner. Jazz says you'll find a way and make it. So she said good luck in finding a partner for a tag match. But other than that match being booked at Rebellion, Brian Myers winning against Jake something. Since it's a pick your poison, that's who Matt Cardona faced, which Jake lost very fast. I'm kind of surprised by that. I don't know if he's still gonna push him now. I know they got him a singles guy right now, but didn't think he'd go out that fast and end up losing with the roster cut and whatnot. So don't know what's going on there. Brian Myers got the mic then, so I got your poison now, which was Sammy Callahan attacking from behind, which was a very good match between him and Matt Cardona. Sammy got the win, and then basically, I guess he ripped off his fingernail was loose, which looked very sick. I'll say that, and made fun of Cardona with his whole woo 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 thing. Because what Callahan won with his Cactus Power Driver after using the ref as a shield and poking him in the eye. But then next, Callahan called out Trey Miguel, joined him in the ring. And listen, I'm not here for a fight. And I gave you a chance to show up at Hardcore Justice. And Trey said, I don't need your validation. And I listen, I only had a problem with Triple XL. You just got involved, okay? But Callahan said, listen, we can use your anger the right way. We could team together. We could take over everything. Trey said, absolutely not. And Sammy basically said, listen, I guess we have to take you out then, basically, because you're not going to join. And he tried to give him another chance, shake my hand. But Trey and I'm trying to attack him. Sammy ended up taking him out, putting a chair in the ring, giving him exploder suplex onto the chair hand. So I am liking what's going on with Sammy and Trey. Trey being reluctant not to join Sammy. So we'll see what happens with this. And good for him getting a win also over Cardona with this whole pick your poison thing and whatnot, because it did lead into the whole feud with Trey Miguel and whoever attacked Dreamer and whatnot. But we'll see what goes on with this. This is at least one of the more interesting things on here. They had a Juice and Finley promo, basically talking about they're going to be defending titles at Rebellion. So I guess they're on their way back since they've been involved in the New Japan Cup over the past month or two. Next was the press conference between Scott D'Amore, Rich Swann, Tony Khan, Jerry Lynn, Kenny Omega, and Don Callis. They had, I guess, people, whatever from the wrestling media take questions and whatnot about this match coming up. Tony Khan said there will be a winner, and there will be a double champion. Tony Khan said that AEW referee will sanction the match, which already feels kind of one-sided right now because Kenny was late, so he ended up showing up. And there's Don Callis, whose side he was on. He didn't want to answer all these questions or whatnot, which he introduced Kenny Omega in. And Omega talked about Swann. He thinks Swann is nervous. He said his jacket looks like from the bargain bin at Target. And he said, Omega said, I was put on this earth to make a change. And Swann is here because he loves wrestling. He respects Rich Swann. And he thanks everyone for this press conference and everything. But Swann does not belong here, he says. And he's just a means to an end. He's just here for a reason for me to take that title. And that they're not going to remember Rich Swann, okay? And that Swann is taking a part of history, my history. And as he went to shake his hand, this is the last, form of decency he would show to Rich Swann. But he ended up slapping him in the face, and then both men tried to fight each other as security brawled. So not a bad press conference. At least they have some good build up to this. Some would say there's no more of these Tony Khan promos, given that they're on Thursdays. And, with them on Tuesdays, they was always promoting the show for the next night. But now that, Impact is on Thursdays, they don't need to do these Tony Khan one-sided burial promos every week, okay? So this press conference was not bad. Not too cornball out there. So this was good. Real good, okay? But Tony Khan, I'm surprised he was even here. I'm just surprised he was just doing another one of these crazy promos with Tony Schiavone and whatnot. So we'll see what happens. One big announcement, though, they do have for the pay-per-view coming up. Mauro Ranallo will be commentating at Rebellion for the main event between Rich Swann and Kenny Omega. I am surprised to see that. Ranallo, some say maybe he's trying to get back into wrestling again. I know he's been doing boxing commentary. I did watch when him and Snoop was for the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones fight back a few months ago, and his commentary was also funny during the Logan Paul Nate Robinson thing also. So he has been doing boxing commentary, and that was good. But I guess he wants to come back to wrestling. We haven't really seen him back in wrestling since he left NXT many months ago. So maybe this is a foot in the door. I'm not saying Impact signed him to a contract or he signed over there, but at least he will be commentating for the main event. So that is pretty cool to hear that Mauro Ranallo is kind of back involved in wrestling again. So we'll see what happens. He will make that match exciting. Okay, he will. Don't get me wrong, it's still going to be a great match, but he's going to make it even more exciting to watch. I can say that right now. Before I go, just a little quick thing. Like I said, I know it's going to be a separate video, but everybody's talking about all these releases and whatnot. Do I see any of these guys going to Impact? Maybe. I know people a lot saying Chelsea Green, and I know everything's cool between the company, but didn't she ask for a release when she won the title? So should she really be accepted easily that back in? It's not like, she ever buried Impact or anything, but it's like, come on, you left when they put the belt on you. Like, you wanted your release then. So, I don't know. I was surprised she was kind of let go. Samoa Joe can go anywhere. He'll go anywhere. I know everybody's saying AEW, and let me say this right now with these releases. Everybody that's released, they all cannot go to AEW. And then again, the former WWE people they do send to AEW, all of them have not worked out pretty well. Some have, but not all. So you can't send everyone there. But who else is on that list? Iconics. AEW Impact. Kalisto, Ring of Honor, Impact, maybe AEW, Tucker, MLW, ROH maybe. Mickie James can go anywhere. She'll probably go to NWA because that's where her husband is, Magnus. But then again, she could go to AEW because they do need a veteran. But hey, if I could hear Hardcore Country again, that would be pretty cool too. If they give music back from Impact again, that was a cool song. I was surprised she let her go. Who else was released on that list? Mojo Rawley. Who gives a shit? He couldn't even do his job of keeping Gronk back in there. So I don't really give a shit about Mojo. Bo Dallas didn't know he even still had a job there. Well, they say he was probably the Fiend last Sunday on Mania. So that I don't know. He could end up. I don't know. Maybe NWA, ROH, Impact. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was like 11 people that got released. I don't know if it's going to be more releases. Like I said, I'm going to save that for a separate video between me and somebody else later. So we will get that done and posted today. But I am done with this review. Comment, subscribe, find me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace.